Uh, Um, it just came to me. I probably should have mentioned this in the last video because it really is tied to other files that I've experienced or become aware of. Number one, we're talking about what we call levels of awareness. How aware are you? And the still point of a true vacuum. And the other part of that is what was echoed in a recent Showtime series called The Agency. And particularly if you watch the last end of it, when the CIA agent had met a lady, and they were they were developing a software relationship as code transfers, mathematical electrical code transfers. And so when his handler, his supervisor, was questioning him about this relationship, the conversation came up about, can you trust her? Can you trust the codes? And can you authenticate the identity of that being? Because it doesn't have anything to do with what you look like. Knowing one from the other. And so that's critical. And particularly when they talked about in the same first episode, are they in the game? Because if you're not in the game, you're not held captive by the gamer. Gamer software developers, anxiety-driven programs, just obsessed with winning games and competing against each other for what? Electrical power. The acquisition of more tokens to keep playing the game and put the coins in the machine. You know, just like if you go down Main Street in Disneyland. When I was a little boy, back in the 1950s when they first opened that park, remember the penny arcade? Keep putting money in the machine and you're never going to get back what you put in. I know. So just like Neil, what happened with Neil? Neil woke up, remember? So they came knocked on Neil's door. You're coming with us. One of us has a future, Neil, and the other one doesn't. And if you ever saw the NASA document that said the future is now, that's right, it is. Because past, present, future don't exist when you don't experience any power. So when I talked about living in a lie, are you willing to lie? If you become aware of a crime, just like what happened with me at Rockwell, right? And whether or not you're going to get a job with Rockwell, you know, making $100,000 a year or whatever they're willing to pay you, which is a contract, an electrical contract. See, so they were paying me, what was it, Marlon, back then? This would have been like $1981, $82, somewhere right around there. And so I reminded them that, listen, I didn't have a job when I came here. I came in here to do a job. Okay? And so that's to restore the still point of a true vacuum, which is cosmic balance, which is monadic alignment. That's a clock reset, back to zero. The still point of a true vacuum. Now there's no more lies. Because now we're experiencing cosmic, spiritual, genetic, environmental, engineering law to experience breathing as one again. Now we're all experiencing being loved again. A gain of mathematical electrical function, which is breathing right on time. That only God, Source Eternal, can know that level of mathematical precision. Bio, spiritual, artistic, creative impressions The mirror, the first mirror. So when I was growing up as a child, we had an old saying that goes like this: living in a lie. Well, how do you know what a lie is, and how do you know what the truth is? So that's much like Robert David Steele, and he was correct, who was a case manager with CIA, when he said there's a lot of good people trapped in the system. That's why we're here. Is to release the leases, college, and cages, holding cells captive as a source of electrical power to feed the machines. I know. See, so if you become aware of something that's a crime, look what happened to me. Okay, now I already shared a lot of my files going all the way back to my childhood, like my father. By the time I was about, oh gosh, what was it, Mama? I think I was around 17 years of age. I stopped counting by that time how many times I should have been not here, which was like 13. See the two numbers that I just gave you? But I remember I was 17 and 13. Q17. The number 7. When you go to a casino table, right? That's a crap out, right? Depends on which side of the dice you're playing. You know, if you're on a crap table, you can bet against yourself, or you can, I'm not gonna win. The dice are not gonna come up with that number. Or you can bet that the number will come up or not come up. Try and cover your ass from both ends. The book ends. So anyway, another powerful night. Over here on the big eye, the camera eye. And yeah, so living in a lie. Living in fear of what love is. Living in fear to experience zero. Living in fear to breathe pure, eternal, absolute love is a lie. Because pure, eternal, absolute love is the absence of a lie. And is the eternal absence of fear, to tell the truth. That's how simple that translation is. And that's why when a cellular analysis is being scanned of your sensitivity and how sensitive you are, and it knows that you represent the eternal truth, and you don't live in a lie, and you're not in fear of fear-based mind control programs, that's Neo. That's the one, the first cell, the first son. Because you can't ever put that flame out. No matter what they try to do. And so you realize when we use the word futile, it's futile. It's futile. And that's why it just becomes a huge waste of energy. Because what happens, the result, we become stronger and they become weaker. And that's why programs begin shutting down at a higher rate of speed. And that's called the counterbalance effect. Because cells love to be in a state of what? Equilibrium. Equal balance, equal distance, equal sharing. 90 on the vertical, 90 on the horizontal. That's a cross section of a circle, a cell. Center point of balance in a cell, the center point of balance in a sphere. the center point of balance in a breathing sun. Breathing rays of light, the eternal rays of light. The crystal core, the crystal cathedral. That's why we're here. Guardians of the cathedral. That's Crystal Sophia. That's the crystal pink wave. That's the core. That's the core still point. Silence. Silence is golden. The void. Yeah, so I hope that you were all feeling better. That's why we're here. That's why I'm here. And it's to restore the truth, which is restore the law, which is restore the eternal sun, and experience the 13th mother or star firelight cycle. Aurora, yeah.